My brothers slept me with my fiancée. My family excused them and pressured me to forgive, but my choice left everyone stunned forever. My name is Adam Carter, and I never thought my world could collapse in a single day until it did. I had been engaged to Sophie for 3 years, and my younger brother, Liam, was someone I trusted implicitly. I thought family meant loyalty, support, and protection. Turns out, I was dead wrong. It started with whispers. A friend called me one afternoon, hesitant, almost scared. "Adam, I think you should know. I saw Sophie and Liam together at the cafe yesterday, and it didn't look innocent." I froze. My chest tightened. My palms went clammy. I didn't want to believe it. Not him. Not her. Not my life unraveling like this. My mind refused to process the idea. Sophie, the woman I loved and planned a future with, and Liam, the brother I confided in, could not have betrayed me together. Could they? I confronted Sophie that evening. I remember standing in our apartment doorway, the late sun casting shadows across the living room. She sat on the couch, her phone in her hands, avoiding my gaze. Her voice wavered when she finally spoke. I didn't mean for it to happen," she said, voice trembling. "It just did. I didn't plan it." I felt my stomach drop. Every memory of our love, our laughter, our late-night talks, the promises we made felt tainted. My head spun. My hands shook. Then I called Liam. He didn't stammer. He didn't cry. He didn't sound ashamed. He sounded calm. "Adam, I know you're angry. I'm sorry. I never meant to hurt you. Sorry." That word felt hollow. My fiancée, the woman I trusted with my heart, had slept with my own brother. My world tilted, and I couldn't even think straight. The betrayal was so complete, so intimate, that it made my blood run cold. I couldn't even breathe for a moment. Then came the family meeting. My parents insisted on sitting me down in the living room, the very room where I had spent countless evenings sharing my dreams with them. "Adam, it was a mistake," my mother said, trying to hold back tears. "They're still your family, and Sophie still loves you. You need to forgive them. We want this family together again." I blinked. Forgive? How could I forgive the two people who had betrayed me so completely? How could they sit there, expecting me to nod, to accept, to pretend nothing happened? I could feel the weight of every expectation, every familial pressure pressing down on me. Days passed. Sophie cried, wringing her hands, apologizing endlessly. Liam pleaded, promising he would never do it again. My parents brought out old family photos, gifts, and memories, anything they thought could sway me back into their version of normalcy. They didn't realize that normalcy had been shattered the moment trust was broken. I spent nights pacing my apartment, replaying every moment of my relationship with Sophie, every conversation with Liam, every laugh and every promise. The more I reflected, the more I realized forgiveness wasn't about them. Forgiveness wasn't even mine to give, not yet. It was about me, about reclaiming my pride, my self-respect, and my sense of worth. I couldn't let them dictate the boundaries of my life. I had to define them myself. By the end of the week, I made my decision. Not in anger, not in revenge, but with clarity and resolve. I wouldn't pretend. I wouldn't play along. And most importantly, I wouldn't allow anyone, not Sophie, not Liam, not my parents, to tell me how to feel or who I could let into my life. The day I told them arrived. I remember standing in the center of the room, heart hammering, palms sweaty, feeling the weight of every expectation pressing down on me. I looked at Sophie, then at Liam, and finally at my parents. Their faces reflected what I had already anticipated: shock, disbelief, and confusion. They were waiting for the words they expected, but I was ready to tell them what they weren't prepared to hear. I sat everyone down in the living room. Sophie's face was pale, her lips pressed tightly together. Liam avoided my gaze, shifting uncomfortably in his chair. My parents sat rigid, their fingers interlaced nervously, waiting for the words they assumed I would say, the words that would restore their version of family harmony. "Enough," I said firmly, my voice calm but carrying weight. The room went silent, as if someone had pressed pause on reality. "I've thought about this carefully. I know what you all want: for me to forgive, to forget, to pretend everything is fine. But I'm done being manipulated by guilt, by loyalty, or by love that doesn't respect me. Sophie's eyes filled with tears almost immediately. Adam, please? We can fix this. I love you. Liam loves you. I know, I interrupted, holding up my hand. Stop. Stop right there. You didn't love me when it mattered. You chose him over me. And you chose to lie. That's not love, that's selfishness. You broke the trust that can't be rebuilt with apologies or excuses. I turned my gaze to Liam. He flinched under my stare. And you're my brother. A brother is supposed to protect, to stand beside me, not betray me in the most intimate way possible. What you did isn't a mistake I can forgive lightly. It's a wound that cuts too deep for empty words. I could see my parents stiffen, mouths opening and closing like they had just realized gravity existed. They had expected tears, guilt, maybe even a compromise. Not this. They didn't anticipate the calm clarity, the steel behind my words. I took a deep breath and let the silence linger, letting them feel the weight of my decision. Here's my choice, I continued, my voice unwavering. Sophie, I cannot be with you. Liam, we cannot maintain a close relationship. And Mom, Dad, I will not pretend this family is intact anymore. I'm moving out. I'm building a life where betrayal doesn't have a seat at the table. No forced forgiveness. No pretending everything is okay. Sophie's tears now streamed freely, her voice cracking as she whispered, Adam, please. I can change. I'll do anything. We can go to counseling. We can fix this. I shook my head slowly. No, you had the chance to show loyalty and respect. You squandered it. Now, I am choosing myself over the chaos you created. Liam's jaw tightened, but he didn't say a word. My parents' faces were masks of disbelief, anger, and desperation, emotions that clashed violently in the same room. They had always believed I would yield, that family meant submission. But I had discovered that sometimes self-respect outweighs everything else. A week later, I had moved into my own apartment. It was small and simple, but it was mine. No judgment, no reminders of betrayal. I focused on work, on friends, on building a life that didn't revolve around hurt or manipulation. Every morning felt lighter, every night more peaceful. Months later, I met Hannah. She wasn't dramatic. She didn't have a history of betrayal. She was kind, intelligent, patient, and honest. We started slowly, carefully, long walks, quiet dinners, conversations that revealed nothing but truth. She never tried to replace anyone from my past. She simply embraced the present, loving me for who I was and who I was becoming. When my family tried to reach out months later, expecting guilt, tears, or reconciliation, they found only firm boundaries. Polite, calm, unshakable. Their shock lasted far longer than I ever imagined, because they had counted on my compliance, my forgiveness as a given. But I had chosen something else. Autonomy, self-respect, and a life without betrayal lingering in the corners, because sometimes the most powerful response isn't revenge. It isn't drama or punishment. It's refusing to participate in a life that diminishes you. It's standing firm when everyone expects you to bend. And in that moment, watching those who betrayed you grapple with a choice you make calmly, unapologetically, you finally reclaim your power. Some betrayals can't be forgiven, not because you hate the person, but because you finally understand your worth, and no one can ever take that away.